Hey there, everybody. This is Kenny riding solo with another edition of the Yak with Mac. I'm so glad you're able to join us. Hopefully, you enjoyed the interview with Calvin Mayfield. Just unbelievable stuff that he shared. I've got two great leaders coming up that hopefully I could talk to this week that we'll take a look at next week. So, leaders, let me talk about this first. This is the place. This is the place where we want to encourage and inspire you to be great leaders so that you can become great influencers for all your people. That's what it's all about in 2021, right? Is influencing. Let me give this reminder. We now have a Slack channel, the Learning Podcast Slack channel. Please go out and search it and join it. We've started some conversations about some of the podcasts that not only we do, but the DE&I podcasts are phenomenal. Hopefully you check out the whole Learning Podcast site. Some great stuff out there for you to see. Leader Ready. Make sure you're out there attending Leader Ready, please. And I'll give this last reminder, 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes a day for you to develop yourself, to do something. You heard Calvin talk about, podcasts, articles, that doesn't do it for me, but every once in a while, a great book does it for me. That's fantastic. He's doing something. So leaders, do something that is going to continue to enhance your leadership skills. And you've got to be the master of your own destiny, right? You've got to be the one that goes out and finds those extra things. I know you have great leaders out there that are guiding you, but it is up to you to make sure that you are developing yourself as well. Okay, last week we lost a great leader, in my opinion, a gentleman named Dick Hoyt. Some of the older folks that's been around for a while may remember this. I'll never forget, I forgot where I was traveling to, but I got a call from the director in New York at that time, said, hey, next week I'd like you to speak at our all-hands store manager meeting. Okay, great. What do you want me to talk about? Hey, I just need you to talk about something inspirational. And I was like, okay, that narrows it down. And so sure enough, in my hotel that morning, I turned on the Today Show, and there was a feature of a guy named Dick Hoyt. And so you'll probably know him if you saw him, but Dick Hoyt was a triathlon athlete. He died at the age of 80 last week. And Dick Hoyt was the guy who would push his son in these triathlons. His son had a debilitating illness where he was confined to a wheelchair his whole life, couldn't talk, was paralyzed from the neck down, but yet he wanted to do these things with his dad. And I came across a great article after I was surprised at his death. This guy was in just phenomenal shape, so we sometimes think those folks will never die, but he died at the age of 80. And I want to read this article. I'm going to read it word for word. And then I want to discuss what that has to do with leadership, because the article is about leadership lessons from Dick Hoyt that we can learn. And I want to give full credit. It's a gentleman named Dan Oswald who wrote this article that just kind of popped up in my inbox after Dick Hoyt had died. So maybe you've heard the story of Dick Hoyt and his son, Rick. Rick was born so severely disabled that the doctors told his parents to put him in an institution so that he could be cared for. But his parents refused and took their son home with them. Leadership right there, right? Rick has been confined to a wheelchair his entire life, but that hasn't deterred him. His parents got him a computer so he could communicate. Despite all of his challenges, he graduated from high school and from college. It's awesome. One day, Dick and Rick entered a 5-mile charity run and completed the race, with Dick pushing Rick's wheelchair the entire 5 miles. That led Rick to ask his father to run a marathon together. At this point in his life, Dick had already suffered a heart attack, but he agreed, and together, father and son ran a marathon, and then another. Rick's next request to compete in the Ironman triathlon, a grueling race by all accounts. Ironman contestants swim 2.5 miles, bike 112 miles, I'm getting tired reading it, then run a full marathon, 26.2 miles. Again, Dick agreed to his son's request. He swam the 2.4 miles, pulling Rick behind him in a raft. He biked the 112 miles on a specially designed bike that allowed Rick to sit in front and enjoy the ride. and he ran the 26.2 miles pushing Rick in a wheelchair. That was the first Ironman for Rick and Dick, but not the last. If you haven't seen one of the many videos on YouTube about Rick and Dick Hoyt, I encourage you to take a look. It's an incredible story. Those are his words. I'll try to post a link to one of them when I post this on the Learning Podcast. So what does this story have to do with business? Well, maybe nothing, but maybe a lot. I don't think you can separate your work life from the rest of your life. I love that point, by the way. Hard to separate your work life from the rest of your life. It used to be kind of easy for 9-to-5ers, right? And I know we have a lot of 9-to-5ers not listening to this, but a lot of 9-to-5ers out there, no shade there. But for us in the job that we do, it's really hard to separate both. I don't think you can separate who you are at work and who you are in the rest of your life. I happen to agree with that. Dick Hoyt would tell you that the lesson he hopes to share is that you can do anything if you put your mind to it, if you care enough to dedicate yourself to a goal. That's certainly a lesson that all of us can apply at work. But to me, there's more we can take from this inspirational story. Here are 4 lessons we can learn from Dick and Rick Hoyt and what they accomplished together. So lesson number 1, perseverance. Both father and son have demonstrated a great deal of perseverance. Rick's life has been a testament to his ability to persevere, and Dick has certainly shown persistence as he pursued the fulfillment of his son's dreams. It couldn't have been easy for either one of them, but they persevered and they succeeded. Passion is lesson number 2. The passion you feel at work may not be able to match a father's love for his son, but the power of the passion you have for work can propel you forward just the same. Dick's love for his son has helped him accomplish things he probably never dreamed of, just like your passion for your work can do the same for you. So passion. Dedication, number 3. It wasn't Dick who dreamed of doing these things. It was Rick's vision, his son. But Dick embraced it wholeheartedly and dedicated himself to accomplishing what Rick dreamed of. Dick has wholly committed to achieving a goal, and just that. And then faith. Rick had complete faith in his father. He had confidence that Dick could and would succeed. He trusted that his father was capable of competing and succeeding despite all the obstacles that stood in his way. It's amazing how a little faith in a person can be the difference between success and failure. So, there's 2 more paragraphs to the article, but I love how Dan Oswald put this, and I want to really kind of sum this up for us as leaders. Sometimes as leaders, you have to push people across the finish line. Doesn't mean that you have to do that all the time, but that's an alternate to, I'll just say it, that's an alternate to firing people. Sometimes you got to push them across the finish line, just like Dick used to do with his son. And it is such an amazing, amazing lesson for us. Now, should you have to push someone over the finish line every single month in and month out? No, absolutely not. But take a chance and have that little faith in them that if I'm going to help them get there this time, and maybe I'm going to do it again, and maybe I'm going to do it again, but now I'm going to look them in the eye and say, I have faith. You don't need me. You can do this yourself. That's leadership, my friends. That is absolute leadership. So perseverance, being able to see that goal and just remove those obstacles out of your way and figure it out. How in the heck did they run a Ironman triathlon? How did he pull that raft all those miles? How did he put him on this bike and all this extra weight and go all those miles, 112? And then actually running 26.2 miles, a regular marathon. Unbelievable. That's perseverance. So perseverance for you is if you see that goal and you see where you want to go, where you want your team to go, and you lead the way and you take them there. Anybody who's known me for 5 minutes, if you've watched this podcast once, you know the amount of passion that I have. And I love that he said it's hard to separate that passion at home and that passion at work. Hard to separate it these days. You listen, there are some folks that easily do it. Once they're off work, they're a total different person, and vice versa. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. For me, it never worked. For me, it never worked. I've always been the same person at home than I am at work. Of course, there's going to be little differences, right? But for the most part, I think most of us are kind of like that. And dedication. Once he saw what his son wanted, he dedicated himself. Those weren't his goals. He dedicated himself to meet his son's goals. So leaders, do you do that? Do you totally dedicate yourself to meet the goals of your people? You know what your goals are. You got to dedicate yourself to do that, of course. But do you dedicate yourself to meet the goals of your people the way Dick Hoyt dedicated himself to meet the goals of his son? An amazing, amazing story about leadership, perseverance, passion, dedication, and faith. Those 4 things can take you such a long way in the leadership world. Okay, I'm going to see if I can post a video. I should be able to. If not, I'll say just type in Dick Hoyt on YouTube, Google his name. The stuff that will come up will be just, I guarantee you, it's going to be hard for you not to watch it, or it's going to be hard for you to watch it and not cry and not have a tear. But hopefully it inspires you and you take those leadership lessons from Dick Hoyt. God rest his soul. What a terrific, inspirational story him and his son is. Okay, that's all I got for this week. Look out these next few weeks. I've got some phenomenal guests. I'm going to keep them coming. For now, this is Kenny with the Yak with Mac. We will talk to you real soon.